Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, April 29th. I can't believe that this month is almost over and we're already, at least a quarter of the way into this 2024. The year's going quickly. Welcome to another live session. Today, we're going to be talking about finding your life's purpose. Finding your life's purpose when you feel you don't know what that purpose is. That's the live session today. And this topic really is very near and dear to me because I have struggled to find my life purpose. And I found it because I was able to really tap into my spirituality, the divine, and so forth. So let me just try to get this set up. Try to find, I'm looking for your chats here. I'm trying to find where your chats are. Okay, so welcome everyone. So before we get started, let's do a little house cleaning. We're gonna clean the energy of the room. And also wanted to announce that, I'm having this spring cleaning sale. Right now, there's spring energies coming in. You want to declutter your home. You want to declutter and organize your life so that you can make energetic space for new energies to come in. And so in honor of spring, I am offering a 20% discount on the 69 Moons traditional Chinese medicine herb formulas. This Yuping Fang San Plus is to help support a healthy immune system. Xiao Yao San Plus is to help calm and focus the mind. So 20% off. The coupon code is SPRING20. Let me write it down here, SPRING20 at shop.yinandyangliving.com. So take advantage of the spring sale. And the sale will end this coming this coming Sunday. The sale ends this Sunday, May 5th. So take advantage of that. Hello, Parad Daban, Vivian, Adrian. Hello. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. And this is a really important topic. So let's clear the energy of the room and then we'll get going with how to find your life's purpose. And like I said, this topic is very near and dear to me. Just relax, breathe naturally, and stay present in the now. God, angel, spirit, guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to create the sacred space on the topic of how to find your life's purpose. Thank you so much for being able to allow me to receive your messages and channel it through me to the viewers to find their life's purpose, especially those who may be feeling lost, confused, lack of hope for the future. Thank you so much for removing any low frequency energies that do not belong in this sacred space. Thank you so much for allowing this session to go off with flow, with ease, with peace, with serenity. Thank you so much. Namaste. Okay, and so it is. All right. Hello, Diana. Okay, so the topic of how to find your life's purpose. This topic is very near and dear to me because of the fact that when my late sister's son, SUN, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, this was, I would say, over 30 years ago. The first thing that came into my mind was that she got the cancer due to years of stress and unhappiness, and cancer was just her manifested symptom. It was just something that I downloaded from the divine, downloaded from spirit, downloaded from my higher self, that was the reason, because we had come from a very, very abusive childhood at the hands of our father. We were very abused mentally, emotionally, physically. And so she was very emotionally and mentally, she was very debilitated, very crippled. And as an adult, she made a lot of bad choices. So when she got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and then 4 years later, she passed on, I realized that I had to really find a higher purpose in my life. Like I couldn't just move through life without without a higher purpose, a higher calling. And so that's when I started to nurture my spirituality and holistic living, because they really go hand in hand. And so one of the things that I know that those of you who, especially a lot of youth, are now very, very much lost, confused, anxious, angry, even angry, frustrated with their life, with not feeling that there might be not be a future, not feeling that they're being supported, not feeling that they're being heard, feeling that they're just really, you're feeling lost and confused about your life. And I understand, because I think what it is um, we're living in very unusual times, and the energy frequencies, there's a lot of turning of the leaf of the energies. And as we turn off over this leaf, there's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of despair. And we're seeing that right now. And that really, really breaks my heart, because I'm very, very empathic. And so one of the premises, I think, when I was in my journey of finding my higher purpose is, I read this quote by the great Gandhi, and he says, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And I never forgot that quote. Gandhi has some of the most wise wisdom words and thoughts, and that come out of this tremendously wise and compassionate leader. I would say cultural leader, spiritual leader, huge, huge, huge impact in the world. And when I heard that, it was like almost as if it kind of clicked. It clicked in me. I said, wow, I get it. I get that we are here for a higher purpose, that it's not really so much about trying to make money, which making money, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to have money, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having wealth financially, because you can do a lot of good with that. So I never judge other people for having money. It's what it is that when you find your higher purpose and calling, the universe really, really propels you in a direction, in a way that really guides you step by step, in flow, in bringing all the cooperative components together to allow you to manifest that higher purpose. And so the question here really is you're saying, Moon, I get it. I get that, we're here to learn lessons for the expansion and growth of our soul. I get that we are in a spiritual journey, but how do I find that purpose? Like, how do I find that purpose? I want to find that purpose. And just to let you know, if you have any questions about this topic as we move forward, let me know. Any questions that you have. And what it is that one of the things that I'm finding is that there's so many young people right now who are extremely bright, extremely smart, like geniuses. And what it is that they're debilitated. It's almost as if they're frozen. They're frozen because their mental, emotional space makes them very fearful of life, fearful of their future, fearful of what's happening. Just a lot of fear. And they feel almost debilitated, like they can't go out in the world and make things happen. And so one of the journeys of finding your higher purpose by saying serving others and losing yourself in that service, this is the reason why I created the blog Yin and Yang Living, because I said, well, it's about service. And somehow the universal forces will support my ability financially to be able to do this in ways that I can't imagine, because it is my higher purpose. But the first thing about finding that higher purpose is doing things that you've never done before. Having the courage, taking the risks to do the things that you would normally never do. That's the first thing. That is one of the things that I think where people don't find their higher purpose or not on that track because of this fear, this kind of like fear of whatever it is, fear of the unknown, fear of failing, fear of whatever the fears are that we have in our mental emotional space. It debilitates us. So it doesn't allow us to take the risks. It doesn't allow us to have the courage to be able to take those risks of the unknown. And so there's a lot of excuses that you can make. So one of the things that I've always done is I've always taken risks in life. And I would say that's one of my good traits. I have many bad traits. But one of the good traits is, okay, I don't know how it's going to pan out. Maybe I'll get persecuted for it. Maybe I won't. I don't know how to do it. I don't know much about it, but I'm going to go on this journey, and the universal forces will guide me step by step. And I can also learn step by step, right? So that's what I said to myself. When I created the Yin and Yang Living blog, it's not like I had any experience in spiritual holistic living. My experience was really life and learning. I did a lot of self-learning, whether I read lots of books, watched lots of videos. I did a lot of reading and learning on my own. But I was willing to take that risk into a space that, even though I went to college, even though none of this was my major, I went and took the risk of creating a blog that I had no official training for. So that was a huge risk into the unknown, right? Because I'm like, you know what? I can learn. I could figure it out. And having that courage to do that. So what's the worst thing? That it doesn't pan out? Is that the worst thing? No, it's not the worst thing, because during that time, while you're taking that risk of doing something that you've never done before, because for some reason your higher self is saying to you, do this, do this, do this. And then your rational mind is saying, are you crazy? I can't do that. How can I do that? How can I do that when I don't? You're going to give all kinds of excuses. You're going to say, I don't have the education. I don't have the background. I don't have the experience. I don't have this. Let me tell you, nobody had the background, the experience. We are on our journey of learning and expanding, all of us, whether we become a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, a blogger, whatever it is. Everybody's on the journey of not knowing. That's how you start, and learning and exploring and expanding, and allowing yourself to make some mistakes, because that's part of the journey. So that's the one thing, is that if you really want to find your higher purpose, is to say, you know what? I always felt that I wanted to sort of go in a certain direction, because just of my pure interest, my pure passion, my pure something about that calls me, that pulls me to it, but I'm too scared to do it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what the future will hold with that. I don't know if I can make money doing it, right? These are all things that we keep, stories that we're putting in our head. And as we keep recycling these stories of I don't have the background, I can't do this, I don't have the experience, all of the limiting beliefs, we paralyze ourselves. We absolutely paralyze ourselves, when really that could open up a huge, if you had just gone on the road less traveled, because something within your deep soul says to go on that journey, which you could open up a whole new chapter of your life that you've never imagined that you could do. So it's really having the courage to take that risk, to do something that you feel like something your inner self is telling you to do, and saying, you know what? I'm resourceful, I'm creative, I'm talented, I'm gifted. I may not have the education experience, but I can learn. and having that courage to take that risk of doing something that you've thought about, that you're kind of feeling pulled towards, but you've never done before. That is, I would say, one of the biggest thing to finding your higher purpose. So I just created, I said, okay, Spirit, what do you want me to do? Oh, I got this little voice in my head. Healthy living block, healthy living block. I said, oh, okay. Do I have any formal education in health and living block? No. But I said, okay, Spirit, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. Let me come up with a name for the blog. And I thought yin and yang living. I love the name, the balance, the harmony, the yin and yang energies. I got the domain right away, the domain, the yinandyangliving.com. Boom. And from there, I just took it one step at a time. And so not only having trust that you don't know what you're getting to, or you don't have any experience, but also trusting that you will be, it just takes one step at a time. So you don't have to know 10 steps right now. You just know the next step that you're going to take, and trusting that you will be guided each and every step of the way by spirit guides, by your inner self, your higher self, by the divine, that you will be guided step by step. The beauty of being in this life is to not to know everything right now, but it's to know and explore things and unfold as we go on the journey, because it's not about the destination. It's only about the journey, because you are an eternal soul. So there is no destination. When your body goes, your soul is eternal, is forever. The body is just a vessel right now for that eternal consciousness of who you are. So it's only ever about the journey. And it's always about the journey of experiences, new experiences, learning new things, constantly learning, because that's how your soul eternally expands and grows. So that's where I think most people get the hiccup, is that they're not on their soul's path. They're saying, Moon, I'm so frustrated. What is my life's purpose? I want to be on my higher purpose, but I don't know. It's what it is that part of that not knowing is because there's a level of fear, not really paying attention to what your inner self higher self is really telling you, and then having the courage to do that, taking that risk into that unknown. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm finding right now with the youth. And I always said, I always said, my future, I see my future really focusing on the youth, the high school students, the college students, junior high school students, elementary students. The reason why is because right now what I'm seeing among the youth is this fear. The youth is a genius. They are smart as ever, but their mental emotional space is contracted. They're like in a cocoon, and they're scared. They're scared of the unknown. They're scared of trying new things. They're scared that they're going to be judged. They're scared. So there's no taking of that risk. When that risk, what is the worst thing that can happen, really? That it doesn't go? That's okay, because that's part of the journey. That it doesn't succeed, because you're going to learn so much from that journey. You're going to learn, and you're going to take that and apply it to something else, another journey, another path, another purpose. So try it. Have the courage, have the risk to say, you know what? I know my higher self. There's something within me that's drawing me to a certain direction. I've never done it before. I have no experience. I have no background. I have no education, but I'm going to do it. I don't know how exactly it's going to roll out. I don't need to know right now. I don't need to know everything right now. All I know is I'm going to take step one. The courage to take step one. Then after you take step one, you see the results, And then you take step 2. The universal forces are constantly guiding you. Have faith, have trust. So the other thing is this: is how can I hear that inner voice? How can I be a better listener of my inner voice, of that higher self, of the divine? How can I be a better listener of that, right? You have to be able to listen carefully, right? To say, you know what? My soul is telling me to go in this direction. It's telling me to work with animals. I've never worked with animals before. I've been, an engineer my whole life. And now I feel like my higher purpose is to work with animals. I never work with animals. I don't have any background with the animals. I have no formal education with animals, but it's telling me, go in this direction. So how do you listen to that? How can you deeply listen to that? One of the things is to stop listening to such white noise of society. All of this, we're so bombarded, especially because we have social media right now, right? We're so bombarded with so many messages coming in, that our mind is just like, it's like almost going crazy. It's like spinning. This information, this message, this message, this message, this message. How do I know which one is right for me? And so to be able to just be in a quiet place by yourself each day, to be able to listen to your inner voice and not be so bombarded by all of the white noise of society and white noise of even family and friends. I know that family and friends are there, have good intention for you, but they don't really know what your journey is, your life purpose is. Only you can figure that out. And only you're supposed to figure that out. So just not listening to so much white noise, not listening to all of that white noise is the first way to be able to start listening. Which direction am I being nudged towards? I get the message. Work with animals. Work with animals. Now, once you get that message, you're like, okay, I'm being nudged to work with animals, and I feel that nudge to go in that direction. Now you say, you know what? I don't have any experience, any background, any education working with animals. How do I get started? There's so many things you could do. You could volunteer at an animal shelter. Maybe, 1 hour a week, if that's all you could do, because you have a full-time job right now to pay the bills, right? Start with volunteering, start with interning at that space, in that field, because people will always take volunteers and internships. That's a very safe way to start to really get into that space, to start to explore that higher purpose. Nobody's saying that that's it. There might be another higher purpose after that. Maybe you do the internship for 3 months and you're like, no, this isn't really for me. And that's okay too. That's okay. You don't necessarily have one higher purpose. You may have 2 or 3 in this lifetime. How many times have you seen, especially people who have lots of wealth, they're doing this, and now they're doing something else, and now they're doing something else, right? Because higher purpose doesn't mean just one thing. It could be multiple things. But the thing is it's to have the courage to take that risk. Oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to volunteer 1 hour a week in this area. That's not a huge commitment, yet you get some idea of whether this is the direction that you should be going on, and you should continue to explore. And from that, even that internship or that volunteering, you're going to learn so much about yourself and about that field, that space. So doing some volunteer work, interning, to explore that higher purpose. And as you're doing this, is if you run into, say, keep your mind open to learning. Say, you know what, as I'm going to go into this and I'm going to take step 1, I'm going to keep my heart open, and I'm going to learn as much as I can. As much as I can, I'm going to learn. And whether I continue in this space or not, it's irrelevant, because whatever I learn is going to be the greatest life experiences to move me forward direction, another step, another direction if I need to go into another direction or want to go in another direction. But again, it's that unknown. So then, oh, hello, Corey. Thank you so much. Oh, that's so generous of you for donating. I deeply appreciate it. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a little break and see if there's any questions. Okay, Majestic One. Hello, Majestic One. Welcome. Wow, you're speaking of this. Corey says, so true. Where I work, I was so scared to do this new job. My boss beloved in me, my job for me is a miracle. Pray I work many years. Grateful. Oh my God, Corey, that is, see, you were scared to do this new job, but you had the courage to do it. You took the risk. And look how much you've grown and expanded. And look how much you've learned, the experiences that and look how much you've said, you know what? I can do this. I can take on new things and I will learn. Maybe at the beginning, it might feel harder, but as I go, it'll get easier and easier, right? So kudos to you for having that courage to do that. Kudos to you, Corey. Kudos to you. You had the courage to take the risk in that new job. And look how much more you've expanded and grown. That's beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing that inspiring story, that you had the courage to take the risk of this new job that you were afraid to take. You were afraid. And a lot of times, one of the reasons why you might be afraid is because you might also think, you know what, I'm just not good enough, right? That's something that you have to, that's something, another thing is, I'm just not good enough. I might not be good enough for that job because I don't have the experience. I don't have the background. I don't have the education. That's another thing where we keep compounding that limiting belief on ourselves. We keep combining and we keep reinforcing what we cannot do when you could do so much more. You could do anything. But we keep reinforcing to ourselves that we can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. And we make a million excuses as to why we cannot do it. When you could do anything, really, that's your truth. Your truth is that you can really do anything. But the first thing is you've got to have the courage to take that risk. And so what? What if it doesn't work out? Is that the worst thing in the world that if it doesn't? No, it's not. Because you're like, you know what? This didn't work out, but it did work out for me, really, because I learned so much from this experience. And because I learned so much, I could take all of the things that I learned and bring it to my next experience. You see? So that it wasn't a wasted time. There was no waste of time doing that. There was no waste because that was the precursor to doing the next thing. Everything has a precursor. In order to learn, in order to know, you have to unknow, right? In order to know, you have to unknow. So if you're going to a new job and you don't know certain things, that's okay. Because the precursor to knowing is to unknow. There's a process to everything in life. And so you're trusting in that process. You're trusting in that journey. You're trusting in how it all folds before you. And that the universal forces and your higher self is guiding you step by step. So all you have to do is say, okay, what do I do today? What step one do I do now to move in that direction? And I don't know what step 10 is. I don't know step 5. I don't know step 6. But it's okay. I'm not supposed to know step 6 right now because it's about the journey of expansion and growing. So not knowing what step 6 is absolutely okay. Because when you get to step 5 and you've done it and you see the results of step 5, then you will know, or you would have a much better idea of what to do step 6. Now, I just went to a talk and somebody said, it's okay that you make a decision, whether that decision was the best decision, not decision. It's okay because once you make a decision, and let's say that decision didn't quite yield the result that you wanted, it's okay. Because when that decision that you make didn't exactly yield the result that you wanted, the universal forces is saying to you, you needed to make that decision in that way so that you could rectify, you could learn lessons to rectify and make it right. And that rectification of changing how you see things and doing things differently is part of that journey of expansion and growth. Because if you made a decision and it came out exactly the way you expected every single time, how are you going to learn anything? It's the learning that your soul expands and grows. And if you learned everything and knew everything, there's no reason for your soul to come into this physical time-space reality to have lots of experiences for the lessons. There's no reason. You wouldn't even have to come into this lower consciousness, this live time-space reality, what you call life. You wouldn't even need, your soul doesn't even need to be here if you knew everything. You're not supposed to know everything. And not every decision that you make is supposed to be the right decision, what you call right decision. But I say there's no right or wrong decision. There's just a decision. And when you make the decision and it's not exactly the result that you wanted, that's now the universal forces saying to you, there's a lesson to be learned from this. And this lesson is very valuable. And so you learn the lesson and then you change your behavior and then you get better results. You say, oh, wow, that is so cool. I changed my way of thinking. I brought in my talents and gifts and I pivoted. I'm very resourceful. I'm very creative. And I brought that to the table and we shifted paths. We pivoted just a little bit and look at the results now. Look at the results. It's amazing. But going through that journey of not quite working out right away is part of the journey. So just keep paying attention. So one, being able to take the risk, having the courage to take the risk. Two, knowing that you don't have to know all the steps up front, that you just have to take step one and you're constantly being guided, having trust and faith that you're being supported and guided to step two, and being okay with not knowing what the future is, what the steps of that future is. And as you keep practicing this more and more, and you just keep paying attention to your higher self, to divine, and letting go of that white noise, and then you have the courage to take the step one, and then you're guided step two, you're going to see you're naturally and organically going to find your higher purpose. You're going to find it just because you're really, really moving with that flow. Okay, so Corey, thank you so much for your generosity. I'm deeply grateful. Okay, so let's see if there's any questions that you guys have. Oh, Majestic One, beautiful mantra. I am guided step by step on my divine journey. Absolutely. Absolutely. What a beautiful affirmation. I would say that many times a day. I am guided step by step on my divine journey. Absolutely. Vivian Najeri. Okay. On my journey to find my higher purpose, I deleted all social media apps. I hear the inner voice. It also leads me to reading books that have been transforming my mindset. Wow, Vivian. Wow. You are a wise woman for doing that. Wise person. You deleted the social media apps. Forget it. Too much white noise. Remember I talked about that white noise? You can't hear yourself when you're trapped in that white noise. You can't hear yourself. You're like, you can't hear your higher self, your inner voice, the divine spirit. You can't hear it. And so you see how Vivian Najera, you're finding this is amazing. You're such an incredible inspiration for all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that, Vivian. What a rock star. Wow. I am impressed. Corey. Yes, yes. I was so scared, but now I smile and grateful. I'm grateful for the universe. Oh, that is so beautiful, Corey. You are a beautiful soul. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your courage to do things that you've never done before. To step into that unknown. To step into that unknown takes lots of courage. Lots of courage to step into that. But once you do it and you try it, you realize it's not as bad as you thought. You're like, wow, this is not as bad as I thought. You look back after you try for a year, you look back and you're like, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought, right? It's never as bad as you think. We're so scared of the unknown and we're so scared of taking that risk. We're like almost trapped in our little cocoon. We're debilitated. We're frozen. When if you had taken that step and you had taken that less road travel, you would see how things, the universal forces open things up for you in ways that are so magical that you could not even imagine. Jean-Francois Boyer, you're welcome and have a wonderful day, Jean-Francois. Majestic One, your words are so healing, inspiring. Thank you for this talk. You're welcome, Majestic One. This is my higher purpose, right? My higher purpose is this. This is my higher purpose. So as Gandhi says, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. This is my higher purpose, to lose myself in the service of you, to empower you, for you to recognize how fabulous you really are, how infinite potential that you have unique talents and gifts that only God has bestowed upon you to be able to be on your unique life purpose. Every single one of you has a unique journey, unique life purpose. So my role here is to empower you, to support you, to nurture you, to cultivate that within you, that you know that you already have. And the deepest part of you know how brilliant you are. The deepest part of you know how brilliant you really are, but it's that the conscious part of you that's holding you back, that's saying, I can't do it because of all the excuses that you make. And it's really coming out of fear, right? Vivian Nigeria, I am inspired to become an entrepreneur and start with the resources I have. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's all send Vivian lots of blessings for her success to be an entrepreneur. Let's all send her lots of blessings for her prosperity and abundance for this entrepreneurship journey that she's going on. Vivian, I pray and I ask the spirit, I ask the universal forces to give you all of the cooperative components that you need for that abundance, becoming an entrepreneur. And with that abundance, I know you're going to use it for the highest and best good of society. I know you are. So thank you. Thank you. Is our soul purpose linked to our life path? Yes. Yes, there is some link. There's some connection there. Because what it is that you have a certain path. The purpose is linked to that path because the reason why, because I always say I never do anything in my life that doesn't feel like I'm on my soul's path. So when I feel like I'm on soul's path, I feel like I'm on my life's purpose. So I don't do anything that doesn't feel like I'm on my soul's path. Because what it is that your soul has a certain lessons that it needs to learn. Maybe the other person's soul doesn't need to learn that lesson, but you need to learn specific lessons for the expansion and growth of your soul because your soul is a specific energetic blueprint. Your soul is an energetic consciousness that's unique. It's not the same as everybody else, right? So because that's a unique energetic consciousness, it has unique lessons to learn and a unique journey to go on, right? So that's that soul's path. It's that path of the things that you need to learn, the things that you need to learn to expand and grow. That is unique from everybody else. So what it is when you take your life purpose, you're on that soul's path because that life purpose is going to be your greatest tool for you to learn those life lessons that your soul needs to learn. That's what that life purpose is. And it puts you on that soul's path. So don't ever say to yourself, if you're like, oh, I did this and I made a mistake, the mistake is there for a reason. It's so your soul could learn a great lesson, because if you didn't make that mistake, you wouldn't learn. Now, if you're making the mistake 10 times, it doesn't look great. However, for some soul, there are souls that need to make that mistake 10 times. You get what I'm saying? I mean, when we look at it, you're just like, oh my God, didn't you learn your lesson? Right? And you see people around you that make mistakes 10 times, 5 times, 3 times. You know, I see repeatedly people in bad relationships over and over again. And you would think that they would learn their lessons from the first or second relationship, right? But sometimes that soul, that is the journey of that soul, that it's not going to learn that lesson maybe in this lifetime. It's going to have to learn it in a future lifetime. This is where I try to refrain from judging others. I don't really know, even if they behave badly, I don't really know what their soul's journey and path is, right? I don't know what their soul's path is. Maybe it's not in their, because none of us have the big picture, right? We're all in the picture. God has the big picture. God is looking the big picture, but we're all in the picture. So when we see other people doing things that we're like, oh my God, they're making the mistake so many times, because we're not seeing it from the big picture, we're in the picture, we don't know why they cannot learn it this lifetime. Maybe it's on their path to learn it the next lifetime, or the lifetime after that, right? We just don't know that bigger picture. So all we could do is, as the Buddha says, when you change and be concerned only with your own individual mind, not with others, you can change the world. So all you do is, like Vivian says, I stopped all social media apps and I started reading books. I'm expanding. She is doing exactly what she should be doing. She's not minding other people's business or what their journey and path is. She's minding her journey and path. And as she does this, as Vivian, you start to expand and grow, you're going to influence. That influence is going to be broadcasted out. And the people around you are going to be influenced by you. That's how you change the world. You're not changing it by manipulating control. You're changing it by changing the inside, because all change is inside out. So as you change the inner world and your vibrational frequency elevates more and more, you're influencing the people around you. And that's the reason why the Buddha said, when you change your own mind, you change your entire world. Before we tell other people how they should live their life or what they should do, we need to change clean our own house. That's what the Buddha is always saying. You've got to change yourself. Don't try to ever make changes out there. Because if you're confused in the inside, you have low frequency, you're angry, you're frustrated, that's all you're going to be broadcasting energetically. And who's going to receive that? Nobody's going to receive that. That's why you make that inner change. And as you make that inner change and you elevate your frequency, wow. Now you have influence. Now you're changing other people around you, because when they see you, they're like, wow, she's fabulous. What is Vivian doing? She's amazing. What is she doing? I want to do what she does. You see that influence? And those people that are ready for that influence will receive your message. There are people who won't be ready for it. And that's okay, because not everybody is meant to be ready for that message. So that's the thing here. Okay, let's see what others do. Beautiful, beautiful question. Sending much love in return, Majestic One. Sending much love in return. Okay. Fadul, hi Fadul, how are you? Lots of blessings to become successful entrepreneur. You got it, yes. You got it, Vivian. Thank you so much. Okay, so is there any other questions on this topic of finding your life purpose. Is there any other questions or comments that you want to make that we could talk about that would be of help to you and help to the community and help to society at large? Okay, Majestic One says, I have a life path 7, working as a freelance translator. It suits me for now, but I have no real interest in working more. Okay, wonderful, Majestic One. I am also a life path 7. And what a life path 7 is all about is usually a teacher, and they're usually very interested in the spiritual, the metaphysical, the mystical, and to become a teacher of that knowledge, to become a teacher of those wisdoms. That's what a life path 7, and they're really into spirituality more than other life paths, which makes sense because I've always been interested in the metaphysical, in the spiritual, in the mystical. I've always been interested in that. So I think this freelance translator is good for your soul because then it gives you the time and space to be able to explore those things in your life, right? Gives you the time and energetic time and space to be able to explore those things that you are really more interested in. So it seems like a good profession for the moment. Freelance and part-time feels right. Okay, Majestic One, but I do want to find my place in this world, my people, my mission. I do try to teach everyone around me about spirituality. That's beautiful. And you know what, Majestic One? In the right time, you will know when to really pursue that. But what you're doing now in your own little way is a beautiful thing, right? But in the right divine timing, trust in that divine timing. You know, you're going to know when you're so in tune with yourself, you know when it's the timing to start to pursue something, right? In a more deeper way, or in a more focused way, or in a more larger way. You know. So trust in that inner voice. Trust in that inner voice. And once that inner voice comes in and says, it's right now, then say, I have the courage to do this. I am going to take that risk. I don't know how it's going to pan out. I don't need to know how it's going to pan out. I'm going to be guided. I'm going to be guided every step of the way. And if it's not exactly the way I expect it to be, that's okay too. Why is that okay? It's okay because it's about going on a journey, not a destination. And the journey takes turns. The journey may go straight, and then it may go left, and then it may go right, and then it may turn around, right? As you're going on a road, right? You're going all kinds of different directions, right? That's the journey. The journey is to be able to go on different directions and be like that salmon. You know how the salmon just goes with the river like this? You're going to be like that salmon going with that river. Oh, it's going this way. I'll go this way. Oh, it's going this way. I'll go this way. Where's the flow? Where's the flow? And trusting in that process. Keep trusting in that and trusting in yourself. That's the most important thing. Trusting that you can trusting in yourself. That yes, I'm going the right path. I am doing the right path. And even if it didn't come out exactly the way you expected, it's okay. Because you're learning something. Every time you do, you're learning, you're learning, you're learning, you're learning. And as you keep learning, you're going to do it better. You're going to do it better. You're going to do it better, right? And you're going to trust yourself more and more. And you're going to trust in the divine more and more. And you're going to trust in the process of life more and more. That trust is so critical to this process. And that's where I see that the youth is debilitated. They're frozen because even though they're a genius, they're not trusting themselves. They're not trusting in life. They don't have trust. They're just overcome with fear, Right. That's right. You love your free time. Wonderful. I picked up on that. Vivian says, it's related to this topic, but I have been helping a close friend for the better part of last year. But this year I asked her help, but she rejected me regardless of my efforts in the past year. Okay, Vivian. So Vivian, you're so fabulous. It doesn't matter. See, one of the things about your journey and everyone's journey is that people come and go. And they come in at a certain time. Some people come for a week. Some people come in for a day. Some people come in for a season. Some people come in for a year. Some people come in for 10 years. That's part of the journey. And there are people that will disappoint. But the fact is this, is that the universe is giving you a clear sign that this is not somebody that you should be involved with, right? It's a clear sign. What is the universe saying? No, don't be involved with this person. And it's kind of a blessing in disguise saying, no, this person isn't the best for your highest and best good for your journey. So then, then it's like, oh, yes, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to see it this way. This person came in and I helped her, and I have no regrets helping her. I asked her for help and she didn't, or he or she didn't help me. That's okay. I realized that this person, what did I learn from this lesson? What did I learn from this journey with her? What have I learned? And learn and figure out what lessons you've learned from that relationship. And once you've learned it, you said, okay, thank you, universe, for teaching me this lesson. Now I can move forward. I've healed and move forward. Okay, and just send her blessing from afar, or him or her. It's her. Just send her blessing from afar. And that's all. And just keep moving forward, because the universe will show you more people, better people. As you raise your frequency, better people will come into your experience, okay? Hi, hello, Vladimir. How are you? Don't listen to just relax and don't listen to anybody. That's true. Well, this is what I say about listening to other people. There's white noise, and then there's people that will give you good advice. So this is what I always do. I listen, and then I say to myself, does it resonate with me? Does it honor me? Does this thing resonate with me? Because if it resonates, then I'll apply it in my life, because there are people who have constructive criticism. They have good advice, but some people don't. So you have to be discerning. This is where you get to be discerning. Oh, let me hear what this person has to say. Okay, let me think about this. Does it resonate with me? Because if it resonates with you, then apply it. If it doesn't, let it go. So you have to be a critical thinker, and you have to be discerning. You can't just let things come in and say, okay, that's the truth. Say, does this feel true to me? It's about your journey. So make sure it feels true to you and that it applies to your life and applies to your journey, because you have a unique journey. So this is where you get to let go of the white noise of society, because a lot of things that people will say will not be relevant to you. But there will be some things that will be important for you to hear. And that's when you want to pay attention. Okay, so make sure you're very discerning. You keep your 2 ears. God always gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, because it's in the listening that you're truly learning and expanding. Oh, thank you so much, Majestic One. Thank you so much. Again, this is my higher calling and purpose. Okay, so just to reiterate, 1, be able to listen to your inner self, really be able to listen and trust in your inner knowing. And when you feel that inner knowing and you feel that nudge, 2, get the courage to take that step, courage to move into that unknown, and having the trust and faith that the universal forces, that you will be guided step by step, and having the trust and faith and being okay with not knowing what step number 10 is. You just need to know step number 1 right now. Then you'll get to step number 2, and having that faith in that journey, that process, okay? That's important. And then knowing that you will be guided each step of the way. So those are the 2 really, really important things for really finding your higher purpose. Hi, Kim Sorrells. You came in late. Okay, so Kim, we're all finishing now. We're wrapping up. What I would suggest to you is this is being recorded, and it's going to go on my YouTube playlist under live sessions. You can listen to it once this is being recorded. Okay. Okay. So again, in honor of the spring energies coming in, I'm doing a spring sale promo of the 69 moons herb based on traditional Chinese medicine formula. Xiao Yao Sun Plus to help calm and focus the mind. Yu Ping Fang Sun Plus to help support a healthy immune system. These formulas are both based on traditional Chinese medicine, and we added more herbs to the formulas. And the coupon code is spring20. And you could get a shop.yinandyangliving.com. So it's a 20% discount. And the sale will end end of next Sunday, May 5th. Okay, so let's do a closing prayer right now. Thank you so much. Dear God, angel, spirit guide, send a message, divine creator. Thank you so much for allowing us to open the sacred space. Thank you so much for allowing each one of us and these beautiful souls that are in this room to be able to guide them and support them in their journey of being on their soul's path and really living a life of a higher purpose. We know that you have been given each one of these beautiful souls their unique talents and gifts, and that inner knowing that they could trust their inner knowing and they could have the courage to be able to take the risk to move into the unknown, because when they do, a beautiful light will just expand them in a way that they have never even imagined before. So I'm so deeply grateful that you continue to support these beautiful souls with the beautiful light and guidance to their higher purpose, and finding that higher purpose by being in flow of who they are, trusting in their inner knowing, trusting in life, trusting that they don't have to know everything in the future, trusting that every step of the way they're being supported. So thank you so much for your continued support, your continued guidance, your continued wisdom, your continued protection, and most importantly, your unconditional love. And so it is. Namaste.